Don't stop, we're in luck now. Don't stop, there's so much to be found. We can find paradise. All we have to do is go free your soul. Dragon Soul.
Oh, hey guys. See, unfortunately we had to have another preamble before we start today's review, and I'm sorry, but there's a few things we need to discuss. First of all, if you can't tell, I'm back at my mom's friend's house again, and it's because me and my brother had a bit of a altercation. We didn't fight, like, punches thrown or anything, but it was a misunderstanding that got blown out of proportion, and yeah, I don't want to go into all that because it's a huge, big thing. But I'm just gonna say that I got angry when I shouldn't have, and yeah. But to be fair, he was also antagonizing. So I mean, both of us didn't take the situation very well. So I'm gonna be staying at my mom's friend's house for the time being, but this weekend I will be going to my buddy Logan's house, and hopefully I should be able to get him to do the reviews with me. So you'll have two of us here to talk Dragon Ball instead of just me. If I can convince him to watch it with me. We'll see. He doesn't really watch much anymore, but I don't know. Maybe we'll find something to do together. But yep, he is a very good friend of mine. We've been friends pretty much since I was in high school. And he's pretty much like my brother. So, shout out to him. He is an awesome dude, and I can't wait to see him this weekend. Well, this upcoming weekend, not this current weekend. There is a difference. What's today? Saturday, I think? No, today's Sunday. Okay. So, today is Sunday. And if you guys don't remember what I said in my BoJack review, I'll repeat it here. I accidentally made a late whoops, and I forgot my schedule, and I accidentally reviewed Super Android 13 earlier than I originally planned. And it's because I was trying to just go through all the movies, and I forgot that I had another special to talk about. Not to mention I still have episode of Bardock as well. So, what I said in my BoJack review is that I would review History of Trunks on Sunday, which is today, and then we would review the two Awful Broly sequels on Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll just go on from there. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to throw in an episode of Bardock. I'll probably throw it in after I finish all the original Z films, which feels fitting because it was one of the first pieces of modern Dragon Ball animation. So, yeah, that's the plan. It's still going on as planned. Nothing else is really changing aside from the location and the basic setup. Like, I don't have my big tripod set up right now. I just have this little one on top of this makeshift PC setup, because I did bring my PC over here because I have no clue how long I'm going to stay, and I needed it for reviews and entertainment purposes. So, yep, that's the preamble. That's the whole explanation about why the whole situation has changed, and why I'm closer to the camera than normal. So, yep. Anywho, with all that preamble out of the way, what's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Animation Station. You know, more such a JP at the end of the animation, including two Super Saiyans that fight for the fate of the Earth. There we go. I got it. Now we got it. And now that we're 4 minutes in, and now that I'm done with the elaborate preamble, let's talk about History of Trunks. This is the best piece of Dragon Ball media we've reviewed thus far, and it's not even remotely close. Like, there were some 9.5s in there. I threw in like 1 9 or 2, but this one's just on a whole other level, and it's a fan favorite, and it's one that is canon, pivotal to the series lore, and yeah, there's a lot to talk about with it. So without any further ado, I have the summary pulled up on my computer. Let's dive in. The film opens with Goku's death from a heart virus and the death of the Z Fighters except for future Gohan at the hands of androids 17 and 18 around 6 months later on May 12th of age 767. Yeah, that's how the movie starts. It starts with Goku's death. And then the rest of the fighters all die too, except for Trunks and Gohan. And Roshi, Puar, and Oolong, who are hiding in a submarine underwater. But yeah, it's pretty dark. Unfortunately, the Z Fighters are unable to be wished back to life because the Dragon Balls are permanently unusable due to Piccolo's death, which also killed Kami. So for those of you saying, well, that's their get-out-of-jail-free card, that's the thing that they always rely on, well, here, it's not even an option. With Piccolo's death, Kami's dead, and thus the Earth has no guardian, and thus the Dragon Balls are gone and completely unusable. Meaning, if someone dies, they die for good. Which, yeah, definitely escalates the stakes a bit, because not only does Goku die, but so does Yamcha, Piccolo, Vegeta, Krillin, all of them. And that's just the start. That's in like the first 15 minutes. Well, not even that, like the first 5-10 minutes. Immediately, just everyone dies. It's really just setting the tone right off the bat. The special moves 13 years into the future, in age 780, where we meet a 14-year-old Trunks and 23-year-old Gohan. Gohan is the only one able to stand up against the androids ever since he became a Super Saiyan after witnessing the deaths of the other Z Fighters. Yeah, that's how this one's different from the main series Gohan, because his future Gohan went Super Saiyan from the anger of the deaths of his friends at the hands of the androids. Whereas in the series, which we'll talk more about when we get into the Cell Saga, Gohan became a Super Saiyan with training with his father in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber. So, it's definitely very different from the main timeline. And yes, the timelines thing is very confusing. It's only going to get even more confusing, especially when we get to the Goku Black arc, but I would do my best to explain it as simply as I can. Gohan trains Trunks in fighting and power, who comes very close to becoming a Super Saiyan as well. Like, he's on the cusp of it. He just can't quite get over that little nagging problem that he still can't go Super Saiyan. He tries. He definitely tries, but it just doesn't work. One day, the androids attack Superworld, which is an amusement park in the Dragon Ball universe. Gohan and Trunks arrive there for battle, and 17 takes on Gohan while 18 watches. Gohan transforms into a Super Saiyan, and despite a few hits by the android, he quickly takes control of the fight. However, 18 joins the fight, and the two begin to overtake Gohan. That's 17 and 18's whole thing. They attack together. Like, sometimes they'll fight one by one, but most of the time, especially in dire situations, they just fight together. And that's how it gets so lethal so quickly, because when it's both of them fighting, they have coordination, they can perfectly plan each attack. It's like the same thing that Vegeta said about Goku Black and Zamasu in Dragon Ball Super. That coordinated attack is devastating. Even for the most skilled of fighters out there, it is devastating, and it is going to screw them up. So definitely not an easy fight. Trunks, though no match for the androids, comes to Gohan's aid and fights with 18. He manages to fight her for a minute before he is easily defeated, because he can't go Super Saiyan yet, and Gohan saves him from death, and they both hide in the debris of the park. The androids, unable to find them, bomb the entire park in hopes of drawing them out of hiding. Gohan and Trunks survive the blast, but at the cost of Gohan's arm, which is blown off. yeah. You can see why that would affect me, seeing that. And it might also be why Future Gohan's one of my favorite characters, because now he also has relatability. Gohan then gives Trunks a senzu bean, which is the last senzu bean he had, saving him from death yet again. Trunks brings Gohan back to Capsule Corp, where he recovers and resumes training with Trunks after he recovers. Well, as much as he can recover with the loss of his arm. The training is stopped shortly after when the androids attack Pepper Town. Don't even question the names, it's Dragon Ball. Trunks pleads to fight, but Gohan knocks him unconscious with a hit to the upper back and lower neck to stop him from joining the battle. Like that special spot right there, where if you hit someone hard enough, it knocks them out. That's a pivotal point. That's a critical, pivotal weak point, which would also be exposed in Dragon Ball Super when Goku fights Hits. But we'll get there when we get there. Point is, it's a move you've already seen in Dragon Ball before. I mean, Vegeta did it to Goku when they fought, and then he also did it to his own son Kid Trunks in the main timeline, so Piccolo can carry them off to safety while he sacrificed himself. So, yeah, there's a lot of parallels here with a bunch of other stuff that happens later in the series. The one-armed Super Saiyan ambushes Android 17 despite his handicap, puts up a long and suspenseful fight against the androids, but he meets his end when the androids gang up on him in the rain and knock him to the ground. They then use their Akel, I don't know what to call it. I'm going to call it Akel. Their Akel dance technique, killing the fallen warrior with literally just a giant rain of ki blasts of death. And, like, you see it for a little bit, but then it fades out, and after that, all you hear is Gohan screaming. Yeah, this special's dark, if I didn't already get that into your head. Like, it is dark. It is dark, it is relentlessly brutal. Just, it is so dark. Upon searching the city, Trunks finds Gohan's body, and his training appeared to have failed. The rage from within him is unleashed, and Trunks finally transforms into a Super Saiyan, finally completing his training without congratulations from his mentor. Yeah, future Gohan's death is still one of the most depressing things that happened in the entire franchise, because, like, he was the last Z fighter. After that, there was pretty much no one left. Like, he knew Trunks was there, but he didn't know whether or not he was actually ready. But thankfully, Trunks does do his master proud, even though he does end up getting his butt kicked by the androids, but we're going to get there when we get there. Point is, future Gohan's training did succeed, but unfortunately, he wasn't alive to get to see it. And now with him dead, which probably also killed Chi-Chi, just the depressing loss of both her husband and her son. Like, that kind of stuff hits you, man. The story moves forward 3 years later in age 783. Trunks walks in on Bulma while she is working on the time machine, and tells her that he does not need anyone from the past helping him to beat the androids since he is a Super Saiyan, because he's a teenager and he's arrogant. She reminds him that Gohan was also a Super Saiyan, which obviously was not enough. A news bulletin on the radio announces that the androids are attacking Bridgetown, and Trunks goes off to fight them despite Bulma's pleas. He fights the androids in the ruined city which they destroyed and engages in battle with them. However, the young Super Saiyan is completely outclassed and can barely put up a fight. Trunks is badly beaten by the merely toying androids, and miraculously survives a large blast of energy from 18. Yeah, miraculous is a way to put it. Because he was a Super Saiyan, he was cocky and arrogant. And it almost costed him his life in the process. pretty much teaching him the lesson, don't go running off half-cocked, always have a plan. Trunks awakens in his house with his mother Bulma by his side. After a brief talk, he decides to go in the time machine once it's finally ready, which is about 6 months to another year later, to give the heart medicine to Goku. Bulma wishes him good luck. Trunks uses the time machine and travels into the past. And that's pretty much Trunks' entire backstory leading up to his appearance in the Android Saga. So now you have the context. And you have even more context when, we get to the Android Saga. The special largely takes place in age 780, 13 years after the death of Goku in the future Trunks timeline. It later picks up another 3 years later to age 783. In the A Desperate Future Saga in Xenoverse 2, it is strongly implied that Future Gohan's line from the special about someone rising to take his place to destroy the androids during his final battle was the result of Future Gohan encountering Future Trunks' future Time Patroller self, Xenotrunks, and the Future Warrior due to timeline alterations caused by him being attacked by Future Android 16 and Mira, which results in Future Gohan realizing his fate and that Future Trunks will defeat the androids. Thus, willingly he goes off to his death, comforted in the knowledge that his final fight shall serve a purpose, and that his student will succeed in bringing peace to their timeline. Both Cronulla and Elder Kai decide to leave the alterations in out of respect for Future Gohan and Xenotrunks. Well, more like Xenotrunks ran into this timeline and ended up acting, out of character. Because he was overcome by just trying to save his master, and it leads into a whole thing. But it's a really cool mission, and it's a really nice little piece of fan service. Where were we? It should be noted that when Xenotrunks looked at the time scroll for age 780 before it is altered, Future Gohan's line from the special is notably absent, indicating Xenotrunks and Future Gohan's encounter in Xenoverse 2 leads to his battle with the androids depicted in the special, indicating it takes place in the slightly altered future timeline of age 780, created by the Time Patrol's intervention in protecting Future Gohan from the Time Breakers. Yeah, the whole time thing is messy, but it's not the worst. Like, there's worse ways they can do time travel. And they handle it pretty well. It just gets really messy when they keep trying to add more to it. So, here's the list of everyone who died, and why they died. Goku died of a heart virus 6 months prior to the android's attack, roughly in November or December, age 766. Piccolo was killed by 18 on May 12th, age 767, and the first to be killed by the androids. Nail, because he became one with Piccolo, he died along with him. Kami died when Piccolo died. Vegeta was killed by 17 on May 12th, 767. Tien Shinhan was killed by the same day by Android 18. Yamcha was killed by 17 on the same day. And so was Krillin, who was killed by both of them. And it's especially screwed up when you think about the alternate timeline where 18 becomes his wife. Yeah, we'll get into that whole mess later. And then Chaozu was also killed by both the androids, although not shown in the special, on the same day. So, on May 12th, pretty much all of them dropped dead. Gohan managed to survive the initial battle, but is eventually killed 13 years later. Dr. Brief and Bikini, Bulma's mom and dad, may have died from natural causes or were killed when the androids destroyed West City. It's not entirely clear what happened there. And then approximately 2/3 of the Earth's population was killed during the 13 years after the android's appearance. In other words, yikes. And then the ones that survived were Trunks, Bulma, Scratch, Master Roshi, Puar, Oolong, Turtle, Chi-Chi, Ox King, Popo, Yajirobe, Korin, Dende, Mr. Satan, and Mai. So they all managed to survive. And then everyone who wasn't born, that would have been born in the main timeline, because of the alternated events. Goten, Bola, Marin, Pen, Goku Jr., good. Oob, and Beat. And then it just gets really confusing with the timeline crap. So we'll go over the voice cast, and then we'll just go on from there. And this is the first one to not have Sean Schemmel as Goku. That's pretty crazy. He still makes an appearance, but he's not who you think he is. So, here's your voice cast. Trunks is still Eric Vale as a teen, Stephanie Nadoni as a baby. Tiffany Vollmer is still Bulma, even future Bulma. Damian Clark is future Gohan. Does an amazing job with the role. Chuck Huber's still 17, he does a good job. Meredith McCoy as 18 does a great job. Cynthia Kranz as Chi-Chi is much less annoying than usual, which is nice. Ox King is voiced by Mark Britton in the original, and then Kyle Herbert in the remastered version. Why there's two different voice actors, I don't know. And then Roshi still Mike McFarlane, Brad Jackson is still Oolong, Monica Antonelli is still Puar, Christopher Sabat is still Piccolo and Vegeta, even though it's just them pretty much crying out in their death. Jeez. Same goes for Sunny Street's Krillin, Sabat's Yamcha, John Burge Myers Tien, Monica Antonelli's Chiaotzu. Like, the same for all of them. It was pretty much just their death screams. Justin Cook is the announcer. He's fine. Sean Schemmel is the shopkeeper in this one. The one that gives 18 her clothes, and then 17 decides to kill him. For pretty much no reason, because he's just an ass. And then the narrator is Daniel Kelly in the original, and then Kyle Herbert in the remaster. So, yep, that's your voice cast. I pretty much went over... well, I didn't go over the trivia, but I did go over like a bunch of the other stuff. So, I think we can go ahead and move on to the written review, right? Yeah, I think that's fair. Let's move on to the written review. There we go. Great story, a dark and relentlessly sorrowful atmosphere, great writing, fantastic characters, lots of emotional moments that are effective and saddening, menacing villains with actual character and dimension, like they're not just evil for the sake of being evil. Well, for the most part, they have some kind of motivation. A great pace, one of the best Super Saiyan transformations in the franchise. Like, you will never forget future Trunks' turn into Super Saiyan. Like, that is one of the most iconic moments in the entire series, not just the special. Great action, excellent animation, stellar world building since it's actually canon to the main series lore, a tragic but hopeful ending, very good voice acting, and very high rewatchability, despite the very difficult moments. Its one and only flaw is its unfortunate runtime at only around 45-47 minutes. Which just feels far too short to really tell the whole story more effectively. Like, we don't get to see how Trunks gets his sword. We don't get to see more of Gohan and Trunks training. Like, it moves at a super fast pace, and very rarely ever slows down. Which is both a pro, because it means it's not wasting time, but it's a con because it's also leaving a lot on the table that it could also add to the story. Overall, though, despite that, this is a must-see for every Dragon Ball Z fan, if you for some reason haven't watched it yet. It's artistically dark and full of tragic sorrow, but it's done artistically to explain why future Trunks did what he did to save the lives of not just Goku and his father, but all his friends too. It can be hard to watch at times, especially because of future Gohan's ultimate fate in particular, which is one of the saddest deaths in the entire franchise, but it's meant to be that way. Because this isn't a happy-go-lucky tale like most of the movies where the hero just wins in the end. No. This, just like Bardock, father of Goku, throws that status quo out the window and shows the horrors of a broken future where evil is already won. And then with Bardock, father of Goku, it was a past where evil already won. But that's besides the point. Highest recommendation possible, easily the best one out of what we reviewed from the movies and specials so far. Easily. It is easily the best one we reviewed so far. Like, I've sung very high praises about most of the movies, like Return of Cooler, Cooler's Revenge, heck, even just recently with Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan. But this tops all of them. This is like top 3 in the entire franchise. It is iconic, it is dark, it is sorrowful, and it is, in my opinion, a complete and total masterpiece. Sure, the voice acting at times can be a little cheesy, but if you can get around that, you're in for a great special that's dark, sorrowful, and does an amazing job adding more to the main series lore, while also giving you backstory of why Future Trunks goes back in time to save Goku. So, yeah. I literally have nothing else to say. It's pretty much been hailed by all DBZ fans as a classic of the franchise, and easily among at least the top 5, if not the top 3, of the entire franchise. Of all the movies, of all the specials, even the ones we still have yet to review. So, because of that, I think that History of Trunks deserves a full final verdict of a well-deserved and easily earned 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. First one we've gotten this month. And it deserves it. It is a great special. It's very short, so it's not going to take much of your time. And you need to watch it. Simply, you need to watch it. It is a must-see for fans and newcomers alike. It adds more context to a saga from the series, while also delivering a dark story about a broken future with a little silver lining of hope at the very end. That's History of Trunks. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned because we still have, again, a long way to go in this marathon. I know I say it in every video, but it's true. We still have a long way to go. We're only on the 10th day of the 31 days of September, and every single one of them, with the exception of one, has a Dragon Ball review, and the one is an updated movie tier list, so it's still somewhat of a review, but it's more of a summary. So, yep, we still have a long way to go with this marathon, but unfortunately, starting tomorrow, it's not going to get very fun, because we have to talk about not one, but 2 absolute pieces of crap. So, I will see you guys next time for Broly Second Coming. Oh boy. So thank you guys for watching. I'm Jack Small of Animation Station. Oh wait, there's one other thing I promised you in that BoJack review, didn't I? I said that on Sunday I would be reviewing the next Fortnite NFL theme, didn't I? It would appear that I did. Okay, let me get my binder real quick. Because I don't remember which game it was exactly that I had sketched. So. Also, it's going to be earlier than the actual game itself by a decent margin because I have plans for the weekend. So I want to get it done before, any of that. So, let me go in here. Where did I put it? Sorry, give me 1 sec, guys. That's not it. Shoot. Where did I put it? It's in here somewhere. Why can't I find it? What the heck? You know what? Whatever. I can't find it in here, so I'll just let the intro speak for itself. Here is the announcement of the next Fortnite NFL. Enjoy, and for the rest of you, see you tomorrow for a piece of horrible crap. Bye. Peace.